What's one of the things that you've enjoyed the most about growing older?
Oh, wow. No, that's... I didn't think you were going to land there.
I know. That's a sign of a great interviewer. That's the sign of a great interviewer. That's when you can, because here's the thing, like, you've been asked a million questions, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, now we just friends having a conversation.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? And we're pretty close to the same age.
For sure.
Yeah, so
For sure.
what's something that you've enjoyed about it?
The perspective that I have now. I have greater empathy for people because I have life experiences and I've been in different situations. I've had enough life experiences that if I come across somebody, I can relate in some way.
Yeah.
And I can have empathy for that person. Like that to me, and slowing down. Like I have been eliminating hurry from my life.
Really? That's a book.
Oh yeah. No, it is
The
a book.
Ruthless
Elimination
of Hurry. Yeah.
And I recommend if you have time, read that book.
Read the book.
Ruthless Elimination of Hurry. It has changed my perspective on life. Like I've just slowed down more. Like I think just chasing so many useless things over the years, like I've become that old person. It's just like, you don't need to chase that. Like just like I'm that person now, but it's like there's a lot of truth in that because like I've had those life experiences.
Yeah.
I've looked on the other side of things and be like, that was a fruitless effort. Like this is what's important. Like I know what's important now.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, that's Solomon. I mean, who did all the things, had all the things, and at the end of it.
I get it now. Yeah.
He's like, bro,
and I'm not even that old. That's the crazy part. Because I don't want to be that guy, but it's like, no, I get it now. Like I've had enough life experiences now at 41.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that was.
But when you think about it, like, I don't want you to like minimize your experience, bro. Like you travel the world.
I have.
You know what I'm saying? You've been on stages. I would say you've been in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and you've had the food, and you've worked the jobs, and you've connected with folks, and you've created music. And I mean, once you have viewed the world, you've actually tasted and seen that.
No
like,
facts. Yeah.
It's
the greatest perspective that I've gotten over the last couple of years is that the body of Christ is so much bigger than just the church I grew up in.
Yeah.
Or just the church, or just the convention that church was a part of. Like, it's so much bigger. And I think I've gotten to experience that, going to different places, being able to interact. Like, that is one of the most amazing things that I noticed. Like, the moment that I tell somebody else I'm a Christian, there's automatic a correction. There's automatic a connection. There's a love. There's a grace that's there that wouldn't necessarily be there if I wasn't a Christian. Like, but it's just like that connection is automatically there around the world. I could go anywhere and connect with anybody because I'm a part of the body of Christ. Like that's, to me, that blows my mind.
Yeah, man. I've heard you say in the number of interviews that we've done, grace is a word that continues to pop back up, bro. Yeah. Like, why is that a word?
It's my favorite. So my favorite number is 5, which is the number of grace. But it's always. I don't know if we have.
We have never talked about it.
I don't think we have.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
But no, I don't know where it came from, but it's just always been my favorite number. And I look back over my life, and it's just been nothing but grace over my life. Like, it's just astounding. And I think that's where the empathy comes from, too. Like, I look back, and I was talking to Cleon about this the other day. Like, survivor's remorse is a real thing.
That is real, bro.
And I didn't realize it until I got to this age and I started looking back like at some of the friends that I grew up with and just family members like, they're not in it. They're not either not here, they're not at the same place. And it's just like, I can't share everything that I've accomplished a lot of times because there's a guilt there. It's just like, I don't want them to feel bad. Yeah. And it's just like, there was nothing special about me. I think everyone in this room has a superpower. Like, we can learn. Yeah. And we can get better at anything. And it's just like, it wasn't that I was special. It's just like, I just took the time to learn some things. And there was grace in that. And God gave me time. Yeah. And that was something that me and Cleon talked about. Like, God has given me time to be able to craft these gifts, to be able to share these gifts. Like, and that's something valuable that I didn't have, that a lot of people don't have now, because there's such a rat race in this world. And I get to slow down. And it's just like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm right.
What is it about youth that makes us feel like we don't have time?
Culture. Yeah. The culture we're in, we have grown up in a culture that teaches us to like chase these things and to go after this. Like, you need to have this. You have to have this in order to be happy. If you don't have this, then you won't be happy. And I think that drive, that push, like it's not healthy for us.
Yeah.
And that was one thing in the book they were talking about. It was just like, man, like I have food.
Yeah.
I have clothing. I have shelter. Why am I not happy? All of my needs are met. And it's literally just culture telling me I need to have this. I got to have this car. I got to have this next thing. And I think there was a shift in our culture where we went from buying things that lasted to a culture they want us to keep buying things over and over again.
Right.
So nothing lasts anymore. We just have to keep buying. Like, and that's, to me, that's a fruitless endeavor because you're never going to be satisfied.
Right.
And I think the pandemic allowed me to slow down for the first time in a long time and not chase things.
Right. I want to take a pause real quick, and I want to get you a paper towel. Can somebody
I sweat, man.
Can somebody get this man a paper towel? Good Lord.
I just get the talk.
You think this dude got a jerry curl of her the way he wiping?
Hey, man.
He like,
so
somebody help this brother out.
So
good Lord.
It's funny. Every week I talk to kids at Douglas High School. They're like, "Where your towel at? Where your towel at?"
He's like, "I got it." Man. So we talk about like this slowing down and this whole process of like realizing that the time that you afforded is precious and you have it and there's no need to rush. But I think from standing on this side and seeing you grow and mature over the last 20 years, that you're so talented. You're so talented. Is there a rush to use those talents? And do you feel sometimes maybe like ungrateful for not using them like all the time?
There was that pressure. And I think that's what I realized because I started working with Heady 05, 06? 05. Yep. And released music shortly after. And I've been doing it since then consistently for a while. And I think to your point, like there was always that pressure in the back of my mind. It was like, I want to leave here empty. Yeah. I don't want to waste this talent. Like that parable of the 10 talents, that was heavy on me. And I think I didn't know how to balance, using those gifts, but also resting. Yeah. Like what it actually looks like to rest. Yeah. And I'm learning that now. Yeah. I think I'm learning that now, but no, yeah, there's definitely been pressure to do that, but I'm learning the healthy balance of I've used the talents that I have. I can only do so much. Right. And I can't rush it. Like I've done my part and it's in God's hands at this point. Like I can't, like, it's not up to me. Like I can't put that pressure because that's an impossible task. Like there's going to be ideas that are not going to be able to come out. So it's like, to me, to chase that would be fruitless. I just want to be quality over quantity. Like as long as I give maximum effort to what I'm doing, I think that honors God. Yeah. Like if he sees me using my gift, that's honoring to him.
Yeah, and I think if I could use this analogy, like there are a lot of people who look at you and in the same way that I look at somebody who's 7 feet, that, that's a librarian. I'm like, bro, what you doing here?
Wasting
you know
your time.
what I'm saying? And I'm saying you 7 feet in the industry, and they're like, Sean, you supposed to be dunking every time you go to the hole, and you sitting here chilling with your shoes on.
This is what I'll say. The people who usually say that aren't the ones creating. They're usually, because it's so much easier to critique than it is to create.
You should be doing.
You should be doing that. You should be doing that.
Say that one more time. It's so much easier.
It is so much easier to critique than it is to create.
Can you look in the camera and say that, bro? You need to speak to somebody's life right now.
It is so much easier to critique than it is to create. Because it's safer. Yeah. Because when you create something, you expose yourself. There's the vulnerability that's there. You open yourself up to people being able to critique. So I think anybody who creates on a consistent basis, they know how hard and difficult this is. Like, and not saying that this is the hardest thing ever. Because I mean, it's still thinking.
Did you just put it down and wipe your hair with your hand? Okay, go ahead, man. He was like, forget this. He pulls his shirt up.
But no, this is not an easy thing to do because it does take a lot out of you. And you have to get past your own doubts, your own insecurities to be able to put this out there and to have people. Because once it's out there, it's no longer in your hands. Yeah. And it's open for people to judge however they want. And that's a part of you. Yeah. And that can affect you if people don't receive that. It's almost like they're not receiving you. So that can be draining. And once you set a standard, there's pressure to meet that standard each time.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about the mental aspect of that. Like that can be the expectations that people have today is unrealistic.
Yeah.
It is and it's usually people who don't create, who are critiquing and saying, "Hey man, this needs to be this." Like, what have you actually done?
But you can't really say that. I mean, you can't say that, right? I mean, you can, but there's a part of you that wants to show grace and wants to be empathetic. If you be like, bro, what you show me your album?
Right.
Like, you can't really do that.
And I think we live in a culture where we want things now, we want it fast, and we want it immediately. And it's just like, art is not that. Good art, in my opinion, takes time. It takes intentionality. It's not just happenstance. Like, you just can't luck and come up. That happens sometimes, but it's like there has to be a skill set that's fine-tuned and intentionality. Like,
absolutely. So we know about all the stuff that you put out that is good. I mean, the short films, but for everything that you put out, surely there's like a cutting room floor.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Can you tell us something that like was absolute trash that you created? That we've never seen, that we've never heard, that we've never.
So this is fun fact. So my first album, Simply a Vessel,
was not trash.
It was not trash. The first version of it was.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm not gonna let you do that.
The first version of it was super trash. So it went through like 3 different stages. So the version that finally lives online was not the original version. So there's stuff on my hard drive that the world will
never.
So we'll never hear.
Wait, has he heard some?
No, he was actually. So another fun fact. Me and Cleon started doing music at the very same time. My very first song that I recorded and we wrote together.
That's amazing.
So we went to Air Force. Ooh. Do
you remember the song?
I cannot. It's on somebody's hard drive somewhere.
Wait, was like the vocals trash? Was the lyrics trash? Like,
it wasn't that it was trash. It was just like when you first started doing something, like when you first started hooping, like, were you good?
I was.
Okay.
I was. Okay. I came out Hey, I came.
I said it.
Listen, I came out the womb wet. Come on.
No. Listen. No, like it wasn't that it was bad. It was just I can be a perfectionist when it comes to it. And I can like that. To me, it didn't meet a standard, and it will never see the light of day.
So for everybody who feels like Sean comes out with quality stuff and he's done it consistently over years, there's some stuff on the cutting room floor.
For sure.
Right? So how has failing and creating stuff that the world will never see, how has that made you become better?
It's the only way I became better. I think the moment I brought equipment and went home and just repeatedly started recording over and over again, and just like scratching stuff, trying ideas, and just being safe in that space, that was the moment I started getting better. The moment I started failing and deleting files and like creating songs, be like listening in the car and be like, okay, that was different. Let me change this. Let me do this differently. Yeah. That was the moment I became better. Like, but it was only through repetition and consistency. Like whenever anybody asks me like, okay, how did you get here? How did you accomplish this? It's only 3 things: hard work, consistency, perseverance.
You've said that for years, bro.
And it will never change. Like, it's the ingredients to any cake that you want to bake. Like, that's going to be the directions. Those ingredients are it's like egg, flour, and water. Like, you got to have that, or you cannot, anything you do in life, hard work, consistency, perseverance.
Yeah, so when people try to elude failure, they try to like...
You can't. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, I think the illusion of... I've always said that genius, how we perceive it, is a myth. Like, it's not... I think in movies, they do a disservice where it's just like this person who's just naturally gifted, doesn't have to try, doesn't have to do anything. To me, that does a disservice to people who are geniuses, because like there's a lot of hard work that's involved in that. And I definitely don't consider myself a genius, but I think there's a hard work in anything that you do. Like, everybody in here can walk and talk, but when you first started, you probably weren't that good. Like, but after, but you've been doing it for so long now, like it's second nature to you. And I think that's when you tap into that genius, when it becomes second nature. Yeah. But you only get there after you've done it for so long. Yeah, you got to work to get to that point.
So I had this mentoring program, and we took some kids from the East Side. We took them to Boston. Nice. And it was called the Art Science Prize, and we introduced them to a bunch of art, and then we introduced them to a bunch of science, and then we had them pull two things from the both sides, put them together, and they had to create something, nice. Which is why we call it the Art Science Prize. Nice. Are there some weird things that catch your attention that like incites or spurs or solicits creativity, like something just off the wall, and you're like, ooh, and you got something from that?
Like,
did you see like a pair of shoes and was like,
that's hilarious.
Like, cause I know you're a shoe guy.
I am a shoe guy.
Yeah, like
food typically.
That is not surprising.
Typically inspires a lot of. If you go back and listen to any of my music, there's a lot of food references, and there's a lot of basketball references.
Yeah,
like basketball is bar none my favorite.
You're a pretty good hooper, bro.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. But no, that's honestly, if I'd had more time to think about it, I could think of something. But food is a big, it's a big part of my life.
That's good. That's good. What's something for somebody that's multi-talented? What's an area that you're not good at that you want to put more energy into?
I can't think. I don't want to. I think. Well, this is why I say that. I know what my gifts are, and I think I would rather spend more time sharpening those and find people to fill in those gaps for me at this stage of my life.
Right.
Not that I stopped learning, but it's just like certain things, I know what my strengths are at this point. I'm going to focus on those.
Right.
I'm going to find somebody else to do it. Because I think to me, that would be more stress. Trying to fill in those gaps
that you're not good
that
at.
I'm not good at right now for certain.
That's good. That's good. Who are some people that you surround yourself with that fill in those gaps?
My girlfriend, Trevia Matthews.
Hey, if you're gonna shout her out, let's shout her out. Come on, yeah.
So she fills the gap.
What gaps specifically?
Getting out the house. I'm an introvert.
Okay.
I'm an introvert. Like, I would literally stay in the house all day if it were up to me. But she allows, if it were up to me, but she makes me, I have to get out the house. Like, I can't stay in my bubble and just create all day. Like, I have to get out of that world.
Yeah.
She's my ticket out of that world.
Give me another one.
For her?
No,
just anybody.
Yeah, just anybody.
Anybody?
I'm not trying to like move on. Like we talked enough about it. No, I'm not trying to do that, but somebody else that feels
you're good. So I recently I released a short film and I hired someone to do the marketing for me.
Okay. First time?
The first time I've done that. Like online marketing. It was something I was doing myself and I was just like, I don't want to wear this hat.
Yeah.
And I think to your point earlier, you were talking about just being gifted in different areas. It was just because I can do it doesn't mean I should do it.
Oh, that's good.
And I've had to learn that. And I've just had to start trusting other people to be like, all right, I'm giving you this and empowering other people. But what it did was I had to grow as a leader.
Yeah.
And I think that was the part I was running from because like I can trust other people. It's just like even if they don't meet a certain standard, I have to lead them or guide them to that. So I just can't just throw them away if they mess up. It's like, no, you have to coach them up or lead. You have to lead them. I have to lead them. And I think I'm learning that just to be able to delegate and to lead.
Yeah. Give me another area that people supplement, add value.
For me?
Yeah. That are good in an area that you're not outside of getting you outside of the house and marketing. And
man, let me think.
Because you sound like mad perfect right now.
Don't do that. You know what it is, honestly? And I think
he's like, I really don't need people. That's what it is.
No. So I'll share something with y'all that I haven't shared with a lot of people.
Ooh.
So recently, last year, you stupid. Last year I got diagnosed with OCD.
Okay.
Obsessive compulsive, and it triggered through trauma when I was younger.
Okay.
So there's always been that control issue. Like something happened when I was younger that was out of my control. My mind said, we're gonna control everything now.
Right.
So that's been hard to just give up that control. Like to trust other people with different things. And I don't know, like I've learned to be extremely self-sufficient. Yeah. It's not that I'm, so Heady is a good person. My grandfather, and my dad because they are just amazing examples of just men.
I agree.
That I look up to. Like, so to me, like they're my mark that I go to.
Yeah.
That's who I look to. Like, but yeah, I haven't been I don't let a lot of people in all the time. Like, it's just, yeah.
Well, thanks for letting us in. No, man. No, I'm serious. Like,
no, you good, man. Yeah,
like sharing that at that level, man. I mean, on this stage, it's good. And one of the reasons that I appreciate that share is that it's somebody watching. Yeah. Right? Somebody's watching us right now. And I think oftentimes when we have these people that we look up to, we immortalize them. And we don't make them human. And they don't struggle, and they don't have low parts, and they don't have bad days, and they don't, they feet don't stink. And, it's like.
My feet definitely stink.
And so thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man.
I want you to talk to us a little bit about this beard of yours, man. Like,
haters out here.
It's been around for a while, bro. Like
since 2012.
You and James Harden.
Oh, we out here.
Is this a part of your brand? Like, is it like
who said yes?
Yes. I mean,
I don't want to ever see my chin again.
I don't ever want to see.
I'm straight on seeing my chin. No, because I think it fills out my face, and I've just always.
As he's like stroking it, he's like, it fills out my.
Anybody who's been in the military, like when you've been forced to shave, when you get out, it's the first thing you do is grow a beard. Like you just grow a beard.
That's good. So. Do you think it's like a security blanket?
I would look weird without it.
We've seen you without it. You got an album cover without it.
I did. I would look weird without it, though.
Like as an adult?
Yeah.
Is it like Samson with the hair? Do you feel some sort of strength or some sort of confidence?
I think I look good. I think it's a talking.
Say that again.
I think I look good with it. I'm not gonna hold y'all.
I mean, we got a poet that's coming up later that can verify or
with my beard, and not everybody can grow one. So it's like I think the fact it's a little. I got a beard, so yeah.
It's good. It's good. I would like to challenge you to this activity that I saw somewhere else, but I think it's real cool, right? Because people. There was a time that Jordan walked into the gym and somebody threw him a basketball, right? And he just turned around and shot it, and he made it. And everybody was like, oh, snap. And somebody handed Tiger Woods. He came up. He hit it. So for you, I want us to write a live 8 bars for the people that are watching. And so like the audience is going to give us a topic real quick.
So before we dive into it, can I?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so when y'all hear OCD, what do y'all think of? What's the first thing that pops in your head when you hear OCD? What control? Okay, control.
Like
knee free, washing the hands.
Yeah, like ticks. Like,
so for me, it's a spectrum. OCD is a spectrum. So for me, it's perfectionism.
Are you gonna be able to do this?
What's up?
Are you gonna be able to do this?
I can do it, but I'm gonna overthink it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we do it in like 60 seconds, 90 seconds?
Let's try it.
Let's try it.
Let's try it.
All right. I need some words. Give me some words. Kitchen, flowers. Reinforce. I need one more. Ish. Fish. Kitchen. Flowers. Fish. Okay. Reinforce.
Yeah, I can't do it. That's too many words.
Kitchen and flowers. Kitchen and flowers.
You want me to like sing a song?
No, just like we just gonna write. We're gonna write some 8 bars, and then we gonna ooh and ah. I'm gonna hit you with a
This is triggering every.
Yeah.
I am not good at that. No. I've never been good at freestyle.
Never freestyle?
Because I overthink it.
Yeah.
I want everything to be perfect. Like I want it to be.
Somebody singing in the back already? Is that you?
No, go for it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like I think what it is, I could probably sing something and it would be good, but I wouldn't think it was good.
And it's going to be out there for the world.
It would be permanent. It would be permanent.
he said he'll edit it out. How about this? We got a couple more people. We got a couple more people coming up. That's going to be probably about 20, 30 minutes. We're going to give you some time to go away. Kitchen and flowers.
I'm not.
Kitchen and flowers.
This is okay.
Kitchen and flowers. We're going to come back and do it. We're going to come back and
give me a week.
Give you a week?
Give me a week. Give me a week. I got you.
This is my guy, I Love Sean. Do y'all want to ask Sean any questions? I have a few more questions, but I want to open it up the floor real quick to get some questions in. Yes, Heady.
You said what was the hardest part?
18 years you've been on this ride.
18 years now?
Yep.
Dang. Honestly, before I got my diagnosis, like, recording was the hardest part. Because, like, just imagine every nuance you want it to be perfect. Mm-hmm. And, like, the time that it takes to do that, like, I would dread recording. Still do a little bit, but it's just like that I don't know, when you want something to be perfect, if you can't get it there, it's like that big letdown. And it was just like, it was hard to start a lot of times. And even in the process of recording, it can be hard. I've learned how to manage it, but it still is, I don't know, it's just, that's been the hardest thing. But I think from that, I've learned perseverance. I learned how to not quit, like, and it was worth it. Like, the effort to put out, like, and I look at my wall all the time. It's like, man, like, I'm glad I didn't quit. I'm glad I pushed. I'm glad, like, even though I didn't even know why I couldn't just stop and just let it be good enough. Like, I didn't know why, but I'm glad I didn't. Yeah. And it was worth it. Like, because I think the tools have been sharpened to a point now where it's a little easier to kind of get to a finished product now. But in the beginning, it was hard sharpening those tools. So, yeah. That's
a good answer. Anybody else? Right here in the middle?
Oh, my bad.
Yes, I got it. Yeah, so you say you slowed down.
Yes.
What have been some of the hardest things to cut and to slow down at?
Doing nothing. Like, being okay with sitting and doing nothing. That's been hard. Yeah. And you'd be surprised, like, but doing nothing is actually something. Like, and I think, especially because we've been ingrained in this culture to just go. Like, that was the hardest thing, to literally just sit still and just be okay with doing nothing. That was the hardest part. And I forget the second part of the question. Which,
so what has been hard to slow down, and what have you had to eliminate?
What have I had to eliminate? I've had to learn how to set boundaries better, how to say no to certain things, and to be proactive in choosing. And I hate even saying it, just feels wrong, but choosing me. And saying this is okay if I don't show up for this event, if I, like, creating those boundaries and knowing me and letting my yes be yes and my no be no. And
being okay with that.
Yeah.
In the back over there to the left. The question was,
how is it
having Oklahoma as your base as an international artist?
I love it. For the reason the cost of living is good here. And also, like, I view the world is smaller than we think. And the internet has done a great job of making the world a lot smaller. And I don't feel like my career has suffered from being here, because I've been able to literally go places and come back. Like, we got roads here, we got airports. So it's like, I can get to where I need to go.
They don't think we have them, though.
But it's like, I think, to me, I don't think you shouldn't let a destination stop you. Like, you are the algorithm. You are the fuel behind whatever it is you're doing. Like, you're the difference maker. It's not the location, because you can go somewhere else and have the same problems. Like, Absolutely. If you don't change, like, it has to be you. So I think it doesn't matter. Not that it doesn't matter. Certain career fields matter where you're at, but like the rules are there are no more rules. Like, it's you do what you want, man. Like, and I think I've been able to do that because of the internet. So, yeah.
Anybody else? Right here. Okay. Yeah. What's your recommendations? What's your suggestions for people that are also perfectionists that may not necessarily be OCD, but for people that go through the same process? I have to constantly remind myself, perfection is an illusion. It's not necessarily theoretically impossible. It's actually impossible. So it's like, that's a fruitless effort, in my opinion. That's energy that I don't need to exclude. So it's like, it's impossible. So it's like, I can't chase something that's impossible. So 80% is better than 0. Mm-hmm. And I have to keep telling myself like that, like, try it. Like, and even if it's not perfect, like, who cares? Like, it was never gonna be perfect. And I think just killing that myth of like, if I just gave it more time, is like, maybe, but like,
someone told me a while ago, art is never done. You just kind of stop.
Wow.
So you could always go back and fine tune things, but like then you'll just never be done. So realize that perfection is an illusion. 80% is better than 0. Like get it out. And just how do you eat a cake?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. Like, don't try to take everything. I can get overwhelmed by things and trying to make everything perfect. Like, just take the next task, knock that out, move on to the next one, and just, break it down. So, I hope that helps. So, yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Anybody else? All right. Oh, we got one. Here we go.
Go for it.
What's next for Sean C. Johnson?
What's next for me?
I'm glad that wasn't my question. Dang. What's next?
More short films and more music and just more creativity. So, yeah.
All right, final 2 questions.
Go for it.
2 questions. This question is A and B. Who would play you in a movie?
Depends on who you ask. Some people would say T-Pain.
T-Pain.
Some people
buy you a drink. Ooh, you.
Someone would say, what's the guy on Saturday Night Live? Keenan. Is it Keenan? Keenan Thompson?
Somebody would say, oh, yeah.
Wow, really? Keenan Thompson. Keenan Thompson or Derek Luke. The guy that played in Antoine Fisher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Antoine Fisher.
Well, but who would you say, though? Because T-Pain can't act.
He can't. I'd probably say...
Wait, don't say T-Pain can't sing because his Tiny Desk was fire. Okay, go ahead.
T-Pain is fire. Who could play me? Who could play me? I don't know.
You don't know?
Who do you think could play me?
I haven't given him much thought.
Okay. I would have to say Derek Luke. I think he can capture it. Yeah. Derek
Okay. And then
Derek
part B to that is who could sing your music and you would be absolutely like, oh my goodness. Like you heard somebody singing your song, like you at a concert and they start singing your music like from the stage in front of 100,000, like you might pee yourself. Like who is like could shock you that much? That's like
Kirk
Franklin. Which song would he sing?
I don't know if he would sing it,
Family?
but probably not Kirk. Probably Molly music.
Molly
music.
If Molly sang your Molly.
I opened for him one time. Man.
Did you?
Yeah, I got to sing with him. Yeah, he brought me up on stage.
That's cool. Was it cool?
It was the best.
Was it surreal?
Totally surreal.
Like, do you ever get starstruck?
I've only been starstruck once.
Who was it?
Fred Hammond.
Fred? You met Fred?
I met Fred, man. It's Fred Hammond.
Which Fred? Like Page's Fred?
That's hilarious.
Commission Fred? What do you mean?
No, this was...
those are different Freds.
Those are different Freds. This was...
Those are different Freds. Post-knee surgery Fred. Like, which one? Those are all different Freds. I don't want to meet post-knee surgery Fred. I want to meet Page's Fred.
Spirit of David Fred.
Yes, that's who I want to meet. When the Spirit of the Lord comes upon my heart. I love it. I'll dance.
No, he's
like
the only one, man. I can't think.
Dance.
I have to always remind myself.
Okay, go ahead.
That
when the Spirit of... I want to meet that Fred. I don't want to meet the other Fred. Okay, go ahead.
That these people are human, like, and I think we forget that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, people are human, and they're normal. And I think, but that was the only time, because it's Fred, man. It's Fred.
I mean...
He's the only person that I think could give Kirk Franklin a run for his money as far as, like, catalog is concerned.
Like verses?
Yeah, like a verses, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
Do Christian people do verses? Who?
They did.
Did they? How did we miss that verses?
It happened.
Who won that one?
I mean, I'm a little biased. But
I mean,
it's Kirk, man. It's Kirk.
I mean, when you can get salt and pepper on the joint, you know, it's like
It's Kirk.
When
man.
I think about the goodness of God.
He was the most secular we could listen to growing up. It's Kirk Franklin.
Boom, boom, boom.
That was it. That was the line. Kirk Franklin.
Listen, I did the Humpty to Kirk.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like, because I couldn't do nothing else.
I'm telling you, man, Kirk.
All right, last question, man. Before I give you over to the people, it's been really cool to see you age and become wiser and more confident, more transparent. It's been really, really cool. Talk to us about how love has shaped your life, how it's impacted your music, and the art and the craft. Like, how has love impacted you?
So for me, it boils down to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I've always reminded of the scripture where it talks about to be great, you must serve. So I think when I think of love, that's what I think of. I think of serving, and I think the people that God has graced me to put into my life, they have made me better at loving people. And I don't, it can't help but affect my art. Like, I think because my perspective has changed so much in dealing with people and having to sacrifice people and give them my time, give them my energy, which is not always something I'm used to because I'm an introvert. I'll be in the house all day. So like having to sacrifice for someone else, like it gives you, having to think of someone else allows you a place of empathy to be able to put yourself in their shoes, to connect with them in a certain way. And that just naturally bleeds over into your writing. Like you have different perspectives of different people. Like if I just stayed to myself all the time, the only perspective I would have is just my own.
Right.
But the fact that I'm able to connect with these different people, they give me their perspectives, and it helps shape the music. It makes it more well-rounded. So
absolutely. Yeah. Well, Mr. Butterball.
I should have copyrighted that.
I know. Listen,
I missed out on that.
We love you.
I missed out on that.
We
love
appreciate
you too, man. Thank you, man. This is dope.
Ladies
man.
and gentlemen, put your hands
Heady.
together.
We love you.
For Mr. Sean
C.
Johnson.